You know that one person in the room who barely says a word? They sit quietly in the corner, watching, listening, giving away nothing. Some people say, oh, they're just shy, leave them alone. But I've learned the hard way. Silence isn't always golden. Sometimes it hides things you'd rather not discover. And here's the controversial truth. I don't trust quiet people. And honestly, you shouldn't either. Wait, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. Because what I'm about to share isn't just opinion. It's backed by psychology, neuroscience, and some surprising research studies that will make you rethink the way you see silence. Just keep watching to find out why I took such a drastic decision. Section 1. The illusion of quietness. When I was younger, I used to admire quiet people. They seemed mysterious, deep, and intelligent. Society often romanticizes silence, right? Movies portray the silent guy as a genius. Books make the quiet girl seem wise beyond her years. But then, life hit me with reality. Some of the people who hurt me most were the quiet ones. They didn't scream, they didn't fight, they didn't show red flags in obvious ways. Instead, they stayed silent, they observed, and when the time was right, they acted. It made me dig deeper. Why do we instinctively trust people who talk less? Why do we think quiet means harmless? Here's the catch. Psychology shows us the opposite. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who spoke less in group settings were often perceived as more competent and trustworthy, whether or not they actually were. Our brains literally fill in the blanks for them. We project intelligence, kindness, and wisdom onto silence, even if it's not there. See the danger? Quietness can be a mask. Section 2. Silence and hidden motives. Now don't get me wrong. Not all quiet people are bad. But silence has power, and power can be dangerous. Think about it. Words reveal. But silence, it conceals. When someone doesn't speak much, you don't know where they stand. You don't know what they're thinking, what they want, or whether they're with you or against you. That uncertainty makes us uneasy. And here's the funny part of all this. Manipulative people use that to their advantage. Psychologist Albert Mehrabian, in his famous communication studies, showed that 93% of communication is nonverbal. Quiet people know this, whether consciously or not. They may not speak, but they're sending signals. Their silence forces you to guess, and often you'll guess wrong. I remember working with someone like this. Meetings would end, everyone shared their thoughts, but he stayed quiet. Later, I'd find out he disagreed the whole time, but only revealed it when it benefited him. That silence wasn't shyness, it was a strategy. And research backs it up. A 2017 study in personality and individual differences found that people who score high in Machiavellian traits, those who manipulate others for personal gain, often use silence as a tactic. So yeah, when someone's always quiet, I don't see wisdom. I see a red flag. Section 3. The psychology of trust. Let's break down trust. Trust is built on consistency, openness, and communication. You can't trust what you can't predict. And silence is the ultimate unpredictability. According to Dr. Julian Rotter, the psychologist who developed the interpersonal trust scale, trust depends heavily on transparency. We trust people who reveal themselves. Quiet people? They don't reveal much. That doesn't mean they're liars, but the lack of openness creates a gap. And in psychology, gaps don't stay empty for long. Our brains fill them with suspicion. Ever heard the phrase, still waters run deep? It's true, but what's running deep could be anything. Calm wisdom or hidden darkness. Section 4. When ancient wisdom meets modern science. This fear of silence isn't new. Ancient philosophers warned about it too. Lao Tzu said, "He who does not trust enough will not be trusted." The irony? Quiet people may gain surface-level trust because of their calmness, but deep down, we don't feel secure around them. Even Aristotle noted that man is a social animal. Communication builds connection. Without it, you can't truly know someone. Modern neuroscience agrees. A 2019 brain imaging study published in Nature Neuroscience showed that when we communicate openly, our brainwaves sync with others. That neural resonance builds trust and empathy. Quiet people deny us that sync. Thus, it's not just philosophy, it's biology. Without expression, without openness, trust collapses. Section 5. The silent manipulator. This section leads us straight to where things get even dangerous. I've seen quiet people weaponize silence. They don't argue, they withdraw, They don't clarify, they let you guess, and by the time you realize what's happening, it's too late. This is called the silent treatment in psychology, and it's one of the most common manipulation tactics. It creates anxiety, self-doubt, and power imbalance in relationships. A 2014 study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that the silent treatment is more damaging to relationships than open conflict. Do you want to know the reason? It's because at least with conflict, you know what you're dealing with. Silence leaves you blind and stranded. That's why I stopped admiring quietness. I started questioning it. Section 6, the flip side. When quiet is harmless. Now let me be fair. Not every quiet person is hiding something. Some are just introverts. Some are socially anxious. Some simply prefer listening over talking. The key difference is in the person's intent. If their quietness feels open, like they're present, engaged, but just soft-spoken, that's harmless. But if their quietness feels closed off, calculating, or unpredictable, that's when you should be careful. It's not about labeling all introverts as untrustworthy. It's about paying attention to the silence. Is it peace or is it power? Conclusion. So yeah, I don't trust quiet people. Not because they're all bad, but because silence hides too much. It forces you to fill in the blanks, and too often, what's hiding in those blanks isn't good. If you take anything from this, remember, trust isn't about how much someone speaks, it's about how much they reveal. And when someone refuses to reveal anything, that's not a mystery, that's a warning sign. So next time you meet someone who barely talks, don't just assume they're wise. Ask yourself, what's their silence really saying? If this hit home, and if you've ever been burned by someone who never said a word, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it, because silence shouldn't be sacred, truth should be. Until next time, speak your truth, listen deeply, and don't mistake quiet for peace, because sometimes silence speaks louder than words.